Hey Globetrotters, Cat and Company is back. And this is an episode that I'm really proud of. I mean, I like everything that I do. And I'm glad you guys like everything that I do. I see the streams, I see you listening. But this one's really pretty special to me, guys. In this episode of Cat Explorers, we talked to my good friend Catherine, who talks about traveling with an autistic child. Her son, Alexander, is autistic. And she talks about like all that has to go into planning and making sure he has all his snacks and his different things of that sort. And she talks about all the wonderful resources that are available for people traveling with children with autism. And everything that she talks about, guys, is going to be listed in the show notes, links to those organizations. um, but I just found it very interesting. So this is a deep dive, guys, but it's one that I think you will thoroughly enjoy. Hi, guys, and welcome back to Cat and Company. Y'all know I like it when I co-host, so I have my phenomenal friend Catherine here, and we're going to talk about traveling with an autistic child, right? I tell you guys all the time, I am a child free woman and I barely want to pack for myself. So I really can't imagine like having to pack for a child and then a special needs child as well. So, guys, I want to introduce you to my friend Catherine. I always say I have the best friends, and she graciously agreed to chat with me about what it's like to travel with an autistic child. Welcome, Catherine.
Hi, Katrina. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Um, yeah, so I'm so
Good.
happy to be on your show today, and I can talk about this kind
Thank
of stuff all day
you.
long too. And I
Thank you.
really,
So before
really
we get,
appreciate that you
oh, go
want
ahead,
to
baby.
get out a message about, this kind of a thing because it does affect a lot of families that have children with
Yes.
special needs. So,
Well, and I think, that's the thing. Like I shared with you earlier, we could talk about it a little more detail. Like I saw a kid like kind of spazzing out at the airport, and my first thought was like, they need to get him under control. And it wasn't until we had the conversation kind of the other day that I was like, oh my God, he might have been having a meltdown. So, again, like one of the things I want to talk about is like what like other travelers can do when they see that type of thing. But before we get into the brass tacks of all of that, you've been doing some traveling. So I want to talk about your travels.
yeah, so I moved from Houston, as you know, to Colorado, and that meant that I had
Hmm.
to travel back and forth to come see my family and friends. And that
Hmm.
means that I had to get my son on a plane. And the first time I really dreaded it because I did not know what to expect. Oh my gosh. Um,
Well, wait,
but
wait. Not just the travels with him. I mean, I want to talk about your Cozumel trip and your Hawaii
oh,
trip.
you want to talk about my Cozumel and Hawaii trip?
Yes, I
That's
want to talk
another whole
about your
podcast.
trips. Yes, I want to
That's
talk about that.
that's a different podcast.
That's a
That's
different body. Okay, as you like,
that's
as
a
you like.
solo.
Okay, 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 okay. All right, we'll keep it on. We'll keep it on you and the boy.
Me and the
I just
baby.
wanted to give you an opportunity if you wanted to talk about it.
Girl,
The
I'll
floor
come
is
back.
absolutely yours. Okay, well, y'all hear that? She coming back.
um, but yeah, so we had to start traveling back and forth, and I had to get him on a plane, and I didn't know how that was going to go in the beginning,
Hmm.
but I started looking into it and doing some research, and I have found out more and more as time has progressed. But my son has been on like 12 flights now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, round trips. So back and forth to
Okay.
Houston, back and forth to California, back and forth to Florida. And in fact, I just scheduled a trip to Florida for the end of the month. So he and
Okay.
I go to Florida um, and see my brother. And
Oh, nice.
but there is quite a bit that goes into planning for that.
Hmm.
And just get one of the biggest things that you can do is just research. That's always my first go to. So
Hmm.
whenever I think about planning my trips, I first have to think about where I'm going, why I'm going there. If it doesn't inherently matter if it's a place that is going to be like the best place for Alexander. It's hard to describe this. So yes, I think about any place that I'm going to go and how Alexander will adapt to the environment. Um, but oftentimes I'm traveling and I may not even know exactly what the environment's going to be. But I'm traveling to do something, like we went to my brother's wedding a month ago, so we're traveling for a reason.
Okay.
What I would suggest is knowing where you're going beforehand, before you even start buying tickets and stuff. Think about where you're going. Think about your child, because every child is different. Every autism child is different. Um,
Right.
I know things like, well, Alexander loves the water. So if I'm going somewhere with the beach, hey, we're pretty golden. I always have that beach. Uh,
Okay.
but uh, other kids don't like the beach at all, and they're scared of it.
Right, right.
But just know your child,
Right.
and then do your planning. And I look at a lot of things whenever I'm doing my planning to go somewhere. I look into where I'm going to stay. And if it's me and Alexander, like how how many beds am I going to do? Because yeah, sure, I could sleep with him in a big bed, but because he is incontinent, I don't want to sleep with him in a big bed.
Right,
So
right.
I have to plan those things out and go, okay, well, is there going to be an extra couch or a second bed, or what are we going to do?
Mhm.
But that all goes into my planning for the actual location that I'm going to. Um, but if you want to start with the flight and that travel part, where you're getting to where you're going,
Mhm.
the airport. So the first thing I do before a trip, I just got an email back from TSA Cares, because I told you we're going to Florida, and I
Mhm.
already contacted them. So you want to contact TSA Cares when you buy your tickets. You contact TSA Cares and you explain that you need the extra assistance. There's an online form.
Oh.
You
Okay.
fill it out, and it asks for your name, the companion for the child
Mhm.
or person. It could be an adult too that has autism or whatever and
Mhm.
needs that extra assistance. Um, so you're the companion, you're filling it out, and then they're going to ask for your person's name. So in my case, my son's name. And
Mhm.
then they're going to ask, what do you need? What's the thing? So I just tell them about my son's diagnosis, and I tell them about the sensory issues that he can encounter. And
Okay.
it's just a short little write up. And then they ask for your flight information, your day, the flight number, and the time of the flight. Because what they will do, if if it possible, they will have somebody contact you like the day of your flight. They'll send you a text message and say, "Hey, I'm so and so with TSA. I'm going to be your guide, and
Oh,
I will
nice.
meet you at." Then y'all will decide on a place to meet. Usually, the TSA agent will suggest like the check-in counter, and or maybe at the front of the TSA line, where the line starts. They'll be waiting for you because they're going to take you through it.
Okay.
So occasionally, though, they don't have the extra staffing to do that. So you just, when you get there, you go up to the line and say, "Hey, I applied for a PSS, personal service something. I don't know. I don't remember
Mhm.
the acronym name, but they know what that is, and they bring a person up to assist you, and that person will then, according to what you tell them you need, they'll help you out. So for me, I go through the line really fast. We don't wait in
Mhm.
line. Uh,
That's what I was gonna
America
ask. So it's kind of
does.
like they expedite you
Yes.
kind of through the airport and stuff. Oh, that's really neat.
Yeah, that one agent will take us through the airport. Sometimes it'll be us and another family, and um, so they'll take us through. We'll cut the line to talk to the gate agent, and give them our ID and everything, and then they'll get us cut in the line for the conveyor belt where you put all your stuff to go through the x-ray machine. And
Right.
then you come to a point where, you know, you have that one machine that pretty much everybody goes through now. You stand there, hands up in
Oh
the air.
yeah, with the
Yeah. For a while, Alexander, I could not get him to do that. And in a way that they could
Really?
actually run it. Yeah, because it was trying to teach him to hold his hands up there,
Oh
stand
yeah.
shoulder width apart, you know, like all of that. So they just took us through. They had a doorway that is an X-ray, you know, like we
Oh,
just would go
okay.
through that simpler version. Now the past couple times, Alexander has stood and did the, you know,
Oh, that's good.
up, and yeah, so we're doing a little better on that. And they're also more understanding about things like, oh, I forgot his wallet in his back pocket. You
Oh
know,
gosh. Right,
I'm
right,
trying to
right.
get everything on the conveyor belt and I forget about
But
his
that's what I'm
wallet.
saying. I struggle with that myself, and it is like I got a
But then you're
friend
doing
right
it for another
now.
person too,
Yeah,
right?
you got to do it for another person, right? I got a friend right now. They're traveling. They're in Italy with their 11-month-old baby, and I'm like, I don't know
That's
how you're
all
doing
work.
it. Yeah, like they're
But I've
like
known lots of people who travel with babies and
they're like
they travel.
hiking. No, girl, they're like hiking through like all this stuff, and they've got the little baby on the backpack,
Just
and I'm
put them
like,
on back.
I don't. Her pictures are gorgeous. It's beautiful. She's like, you need to come to this part of Italy next time, and then I talked to her earlier, but it's just like I can't, like my brain can't fathom being
Right.
responsible for another person. Like you said,
Well,
I sometimes I still have my watch on. The last time I went through the checkpoint, I still had my earbuds on. They were like, "Ma'am," I'm like, "Oh, my bad." So yeah, I get it. And you're like, "Damn it, I left his wallet in his pocket." And you're like,
oops.
"Girl,
But
it's
they
crazy."
understand, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
they're just more understanding in general. And also a thing to know, at least here in the United States, um, they have a program at it encompasses all airports. It's the Sunflower Program, I think is what they call it. But
Okay.
you can go in, and when you go to check in, or they should have them there, or should be able to tell you where to get it. It's a lanyard, and it's like a green lanyard with sunflowers on it. So this
Oh,
is for
okay.
people with non-visible disabilities.
Mhm.
So Alexander wears one every time we go into the airport, because all the airport staff, all of the people who work for the airlines and stuff, they all see that and they know.
Yeah, they know what it means. Okay.
Yes. So that can help you get through the airport in different ways too. You know, maybe somebody says, oh, yeah, come on up here to, you know, just trying to make your life a little easier because they understand already.
Okay.
They've had some bit of knowledge imparted upon them for this program. Um,
Right.
and then also, a lot of airports offer a sensory room. And
Oh.
my doorbell just rang. Um, the sensory rooms are set up for children, or, well, people with the autism, PTSD, ADHD, anybody who needs a moment to decompress.
Like a
They,
little quiet place.
yeah, it's a quiet room, you know, so they can, because, you know, airports are overwhelming.
Girl.
Okay, so
So, I mean, I know you
airports
just
have
recently
sensory
kind of
rooms.
started traveling with him, but do you think like it's like from your perspective, is it getting better? Do you feel like more people are or like the airports are like I didn't even know about the sensory room. I mean, obviously I wouldn't because that's not my wheelhouse or whatever. But I
Right.
think that's really cool. I think that's a really cool thing to kind of have.
It is. I don't know that we have ever actually utilized the sensory rooms ourselves,
Mhm. Okay.
because usually I try to plan it to where we're in the airport the least amount of time possible.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
um,
I understand.
so, you know, also another thing that airports offer, they have run-throughs. They will. It's a program called Wings for Autism. I think it's
Okay.
through an organization that most autism parents would know. It's called ARC. Um,
Okay.
Autism Resource Center, I believe. And what they do, you can contact your local ARC and then say, hey, do we have an airport that I can take my child on a random, like we plan a day, I take them and we go through the process. And so they will start you
Oh,
from the
that's really
beginning at
neat.
check in. They'll take you through security to the gate. And sometimes they even have a plane on standby that's there that they'll let you like
Oh,
walk your
really?
kid onto. Yeah. So that you can go through the whole process.
That's
Again,
really cool.
that wasn't something that I knew about in the beginning,
Right.
so I never took advantage of it, and now Alexander already knows. So
Right. No, but that's really cool. I mean, because then they get like the understanding of, to kind of get familiar with, like, okay, this is what it's like.
hmm and
That's
also your
really cool.
airlines will give you social stories. Probably they will email it to you if you request, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
download it. And so, one thing that we do a lot in the autism community is use social stories with our children to try to
Okay.
teach them things and get them familiar with things so ahead of time.
Okay.
And so the social stories from your airlines will do exactly that. Like, oh, Johnny is going to Florida this weekend, and Johnny
Right.
to
Right.
do this, and and go through it so your child can you can read through it in advance with your child and prepare them. And a lot of things that we do are preparations. Like, okay, we're going to be going on a plane on Friday. On Friday, we're going on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we do a lot of things with our kids because you want to prepare them ahead of time so that you don't end up with the problems on the back end.
Right. Of course. Of
um,
course.
so those are the main programs that I know about for the airport and airlines. The
Okay.
lanyards, the TSA cares, sensory rooms, and the run throughs. So
That is just really, I'm so glad we're having this conversation.
it,
Like,
there's
I
a
knew
wealth of
nothing about any
information
of
out
that.
there. You just
I
have to
feel
dig
like,
in.
yeah, I feel like, like what? All of this is happening like right around me. You know what I
Yes,
mean? But I don't
is.
know anything about it. Yeah, like that's really cool.
um, so another thing for us is we get pre-boarding. If you have a
Mm-hmm.
child with special needs, when you buy your ticket, there's a little box you can tick off, and it'll say, do you need special considerations? And so I tick it off, and then it will go down and say, do you have a wheelchair? Do you have this? Do you have a cognitive or behavioral issue that like
Mm-hmm.
you have some reason? So I do that with Alexander, so he and I also get pre-boarding. So because
Okay.
it does take us extra time. They pre-board the
Yep.
parents with kids because it's going to take them extra time.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes us
Right.
extra time because I have to do everything. I have to take the backpack off of his shoulders, and
Well,
I
and then
have to
like you
put
said
it in his.
too, like you're spending less time in the airport. Like he's not sitting there waiting for them to call section C and then on
Yeah,
section A. You know what I mean?
exactly. So that is, you got to really just go through all of the different agencies that you're dealing with and utilize the things that they offer to you, programs that they
Mm-hmm.
have that can help you in your different ways. So other things that I do for Alexander, he has headphones. They're not noise canceling because the noise doesn't bother him like it does some kids, but he has them on, so it kind of mutes it out a little bit. And also, when he's in the
Mm-hmm.
air, my son keeps his phone with him, and he's always playing little videos on YouTube. Um, this is
Really?
part. This is part of
Oh,
the
he's
thing,
a teenager. He's a teenager for real.
girl. This has been since he was 1 years old. Okay.
Really? That's how my
So
little
you'll
niece
hear
is,
the
girl. She gets on those
ABCs playing
phones.
in the background all the time. So
Girl, that's my little niece. She's 4, and she could probably work her phone better than a grown up. It's crazy.
right.
I'm like,
That is the
why
truth.
do you
They
have a
grew
cell
up
phone? Why
with
do you
it.
have a
We didn't.
tablet?
But
Girl, yeah, it's
so
second nature to her. It's second
it
nature.
is. Yeah, that's just their life. That would have been
Hmm.
like for us, I don't know, going outside and riding a bike.
Yep, probably. Yep, exactly. They're like, you go outside? Yeah, yeah, we went
Right.
outside.
Uh,
All right, so
So,
you were talking about you pack his headphones. Are there other things that you have to bring with him that like comfort him?
well,
You
this is
know.
that's one of the things. So he is 14 now, and he's matured a little bit, and because he's familiar with the whole process now too. I'm not as worried when we go into the airport, but the headphones and his phone, they stay with him for the most part. We do take them off to
Hmm.
go to the TSA scanner. Um,
Okay.
and then another thing that I always pack for the flight is a snack, a crunchy snack, because I have not
Hmm.
been able to teach him how to do his
Pop
ears,
his ears.
to pop
Yep.
his ears. Yeah. So whenever I started thinking about it, I was like, well, how could we naturally do that? Like
Yep.
chewing gum,
Chewing gum. Exactly.
but my son will just swallow the gum. So I bring things like pretzels, something he has to chew on. And whenever we take off and we're going through that transition, I'm like, here you
Yep.
go.
Girl, don't feel bad. I still have to work with my mom on that. And she is not 14. And she's like, I'm like, Mom, just drop your jaw or, and she
Yeah,
just, I was like, here's some gum, like
do
chew gum.
something.
So don't feel bad. Don't feel
And
bad. She's not 14 and we still struggle.
okay. And then of course things like I bring a power bank, but I think most people bring power banks
Yep, yep, yep.
now. But also before our flight, and it's another common thing, but before our flight, because my son won't have internet, he won't have those YouTube videos. I go on Netflix and use my account to download TV shows,
Oh, some
movie
stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like so they'll have like Blippy or number blocks or whatever
Hmm.
download, and that way while we're on the flight he actually has that to keep him entertained, and he'll keep his headphones on, and it makes
Well,
it
you
smooth.
gonna love when y'all take y'all's big trip over the summer because they have all the movies and the games and all that
Oh,
kind of
on
stuff.
the
So, yep, on
yeah,
the long haul flights. Yep.
the thing is though, he doesn't really watch movies and games. It just kind of depends. He might play games,
Okay.
but I'll still download some Netflix
Yeah,
videos
of
and
course.
plethora.
But it has like one of my flights. I think one time I was going to Italy. I got caught up watching all the movies that I didn't sleep the first leg of my flight.
Oh no. When you were supposed to sleep, right?
When I was supposed to sleep, and then the second half of my flight was short, and then I fell asleep on that one. Then I woke up angry because it was like a 2-hour flight, and I got
Oh,
no sleep. Yeah,
yeah.
I got no
You
sleep.
didn't get sleep because it was a short flight. Are you done? No. Okay. Okay.
I'll just shoot you a text when I'm all done.
Um.
But yeah,
So
that was me. So I was like, Katrina, you know better. You've traveled a lot. Like, but I got caught up. They had all kind of good movies. It's crazy. Like I've
hey,
watched some of the best movies on those flights.
sometimes you just gotta,
I'm telling you.
you just gotta decide what prioritize.
Yep. You got to figure it out. I'm
Uh,
like, you know what?
and
Mm-mm.
speaking of the long flight, so I am taking Alexander abroad this summer. And I actually opted for a flight that had two layovers, um,
Okay.
for multiple reasons. But a big reason was the first flight's like 2.5 hours. We get to
Oh,
JFK,
okay.
we get out, we walk around, you know,
Yep.
we can go to the restroom, we can eat something, like we're
Mm-hmm.
out of
Yep.
that confined area. But then the next flight is the long flight, and it's still only like 7 or 8 hours. Um,
Were y'all flying directly into Rome from JFK?
no, we're gonna fly into
No, you're going to Athens. I'm sorry.
no, we're going to Santorini.
Oh,
So
but it's straight
yeah,
from JFK?
no. So the next layover is at in Paris, and so
Okay.
from JFK to Paris, that's the long haul flight. And so
Mm-hmm.
for that flight, that's also the overnight flight. And so I'm going to be bringing my son's medications. He has a sleep med, so he takes all his meds at night. And
Okay.
I will be giving that to him. And hopefully, I will get him to sleep to try to keep him on a schedule. And so that when we
Yep.
get there, we're not like exhausted, right?
Oh yeah, and that's what they try to do on the
Probably
plane
still
too.
will
Like you
be.
get on and they make everything dark, so you're supposed to sleep, and
Yes,
then they like,
you're
come
supposed to.
around and like wake you up. You're supposed to. But you
It's
could
a
be like
little bit
Cat and watch
harder,
movies.
with him, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to get him to sleep with the medications. But then the problem becomes, well, my son is incontinent when he sleeps, and I'm on a flight. It's a problem any which way. This is just something I always have to plan for. So
Right.
I will also plan on bringing a bed pad. We use them at home. I have washable bed pads because that has been the most convenient thing.
Gosh. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and so I'll end up bringing that to, set it up in the chair as a just in case. And I might do that when
Yes.
I pull up for the overnight flight.
Oh, that would probably be best. Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, it'd be best, but it still won't be best.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I got you. I understand. I got what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so there are a lot of considerations that parents have to make, and a lot of it's just about knowing your kid and then looking at the limitations and trying to figure out what's going to work for you. On our short flights, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, of course. Right.
Or that
Like you're one or
overnight,
two,
he was supposed
one to
to be
maybe two
sleeping.
time zones away. Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about jet lag, but I've experienced it. Like my last flight when I went to Venice, girls sat next to these parents with this baby, and this baby cried all night.
God.
Guess we didn't
Even
get not
with
an
your
ounce of sleep.
headphones, you couldn't block them out.
They were sitting right. No, they were sitting right next to me. No,
Well,
and she. I
okay,
mean,
yeah,
but it's the time difference. Like the little kid was like 2 years old. You know what I mean? Even
yeah,
my friend with the 11th-month-old was talking about how her son wasn't really sleeping. Like they don't know. They don't recognize. Like
yeah. Time
I'm
zones.
not in X. Yeah, I'm not in XYZ time zone anymore. They're just like whatever. So I understood. I was tired as all get out though. And again, on my short flight from London to Venice, I was like I was not. I was dozing
Talked
off, but
out.
I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, and it's like 2 hours. It's a 2 hour flight.
Uh,
And I was so angry when I got to Venice. I was tired. I was so tired.
yeah, and I'm really trying to set it up so that he will sleep on the long haul flight, because then when we get to Paris, we have our quick layover. We
Hmm.
go to from Paris to Santorini, which is like a 2 hour flight.
Yep. Well,
So
that's the thing too. When you land in Paris, I think it should be morning. I think
yeah,
so.
I think it will
Hopefully,
be.
if he
Yeah, that's
sleeps and then he's
um,
then he's getting up and it's morning, and then you're pretty much on the same time zone. You're in that
exactly.
kind of time
I'm
zone.
hoping he'll get at least
Um.
7 hours of sleep on the flight. That's
Oh,
what I'm.
let's keep our fingers.
Me
Let's
too.
keep our
I want the
fingers
seven
crossed,
hours of sleep too.
girl. I'm telling you that long haul, you better get it.
Well, and that also brings up another point for me. So, uh, even when you just have children on a flight,
Hmm.
it is harder on the environment for the whole plane, because it depends on your child too. But lots
Hmm.
of children cry. Lots of children have too much energy. They can't sit there that long. Lots of children have to talk, and they talk too loud to their parents. Um, these are all just things of children, but autism children, even more issues can
Yep.
arise. Though my son doesn't speak, he makes sounds, and
Oh,
he
that's right.
is a big man, and the sounds his voice carries.
Hmm.
So he might make a repetitive sound. He might be like eight.
Okay, I got you.
And so whenever I get on the plane, one of the first things I do after I get us seated is I talk to the nearest flight attendant and say, look, my
Mm.
son, she's already seen the lanyard, so she knows, but
So
my
she
son
already knows,
is,
right?
and sometimes he might make weird movements or sounds. He is okay, but I just wanted to let you know in advance. And then usually, because it's me and him, there's usually a third seat. So there's going to be somebody
Okay.
sitting with us. And
I was
so
gonna
when
say,
that person,
hopefully, when y'all take this trip, it's just y'all two. It's really nice.
I think I did I got our seats on like the two on the outside or something. I don't
Okay.
know. But I always talk to the third person, and I'm like, look, if there's something that happened, something he does or whatever, just let me know, and I will take care of it.
Hmm.
Because also in the beginning I made Alexander sit in the window seat, because that would keep
Oh,
him confined in that little corner, right, and not next to the other person in case he just touched them or something.
he likes to look out. Does he like to look out the window?
A little bit, but
Okay.
not like, ooh, he has to look out the
Yeah,
window.
yeah.
But now I prefer I don't like the middle or the aisle seat. So now my poor child gets stuck in the middle seat and I get the window seat. All right. I paid for the
I
tickets.
love the window seat. You know what's funny? My mom hates the window seat. She never wants to sit by the window, but then she
Some
will
people
like,
don't like being able to see out the
but no,
window.
but then she'll lean over me to look out the window. I'm like, you
Oh,
could just pick the window seat.
of course,
You could
right.
just sit there. And she's like, no, no, no. But then she'll
No,
be
I
like,
don't
let
want
me
to
see
sit there.
what's
I just want to
outside. Yeah, she don't want to sit there. No, she don't want to sit there. But
look.
um,
So different things that just different considerations. Those are very specific to my child and his needs. And another person, their child might have different needs. And even a
right.
lot of this stuff that I'm talking about applies to people who have little kids too, that are
Yeah,
typical.
exactly. Yep, yep,
So,
yep.
you could easily call in and say, hey, my son's going on his first flight. And I'm wondering, do you have social stories that I could show him? Um,
Okay.
so it doesn't necessarily just apply to the non-neurotypical population, the
Mm-hmm.
neurodivergent population, but these are things that have really been put in place for our children or people, the neurodivergent peoples. So,
That's really good. I mean, I was gonna say, like, the first time my mom and I flew together, I flew with my mom. Well, my mom flew for the first time. Like, she was really nervous, obviously, and we got on a plane, and I told her, like you said, you talked to the flight. So I told him, I said, look, it's my mom's first time flying. She's really nervous, and the flight attendants were great. She was like, okay, like when you see me get worried, that's when you get worried. But they were so sweet. They would come, every so often. How you doing? You okay?
they will
So it was
ask.
really, really nice. Yeah, like it was really, really cool. And I was like, thank y'all for that. Like, thank you, because she was really like
Nervous.
nervous. And the first time I
Yeah.
jumped on a plane, I was like, let's go. Like, what we doing? But
Me too.
even to this day she don't like flying. Like my little niece lives in Arizona. She's still we've taken several trips out there. She is still not her thing. Like it just ain't.
Well,
And the thing is, mom's just really not a traveler, so none of it
mm,
makes sense to her. Like she's just not a traveler, and I'm like, I don't
yeah.
like that. Doesn't make sense to me, but okay, lady.
Well, everybody's different.
Everybody's different, yeah.
Different from your mother.
Well, I'm just like, your granddaughter, it's her only granddaughter because I'm not going to have a baby. But, you
Right.
would think that she would be like, at least in that moment, that would be exciting for her to be like, okay, I got to jump on this plane, but I get to see my granddaughter at the end of all this. Like, at
You
least
know,
that's her motivation. But she still just doesn't. It's still not her bag. It's not her thing.
well, she does it
Um,
though, so
she does do it, and she's gotten really good at it. Sometimes we have issues like she will forget to like take her water out of the bag or whatever, and then we'll get
Oh, at TSA.
to the checkpoint, and then it's like her bag doesn't come down a little thing, and I'm like, Mom, what's in your bag? They're like, she has water. I'm like, what? It's like water hasn't been open, but TSA gonna TSA.
Yeah,
So
no, they
I'm like,
yes.
Mom. She's like, well, it wasn't open. I'm like, Mom, they don't care that your water isn't open.
Oh,
Like you
but there
can't
are
you
refill
can't
stations
bring a
on the
water bottle. You
inside.
can't bring water on the thing, huh?
I said usually there are refill stations on the inside, so
Yes, like we have
that's
our
what
we
we
have the little
do.
container too. We have the little container, so that's usually what I keep. But we buy our
Yeah,
snacks, whatever, and we're running around, and she just forgets to like take the water out
right.
or something
I
like
get
that.
it
Like that's been our
because
last couple of things. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I forget my son's wallet in his pocket. Like these
Girl,
things
look, I told you I had my headphones on. I still had my earbuds in. I was like,
happen.
oh, like I can't go through that. Sometimes I forget to take my watch off, child. Like it's
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, even like the watch, sometimes I forget too. So,
Girl,
um,
that's been my most
these
recent
things
one.
happen. The
Yes,
the
they do.
the water just really raises their eyebrows, because they're like, "Oh, it's liquid."
Yes, of course.
Um,
So
but I
crazy.
also get it. So, um,
So has
yeah.
there been
So,
one thing when you're traveling with Alexander that he's done or adapted to something that's really surprised you?
I mean, honestly, I'm gonna tell you, the first time we got on a plane, I thought with the change of elevation, the
Hmm.
altitude, and all of that, I thought I was going to have a major meltdown. But he was so chill. I could see he tensed up. He
Hmm.
tensed up, but he didn't make any sound or anything, and
Hmm.
I had the snacks for him, so that
Right, right.
helps us through. Food motivates my child. Imagine that, a teenage boy liking
Right. Imagine a teenage boy being motivated by food.
um so that was absolutely surprising to me that he never has had a problem on the flight. One time
That's
he did
awesome.
have an incontinence issue though.
Right.
That was rough.
Oh, I know.
Here I was trying to we were on a completely full flight, so even getting back and forth to the bathroom was hard
Oh gosh,
because you couldn't
yes.
step into any of the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I'm over here with this child who has wet himself. I'm
Right.
like, oh my gosh, at least he was littler then. He didn't look like a grown man at that point. Um, I
He
get
has
him
gotten,
back.
oh my God, he has gotten so big. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, he's 6'1" now.
Yeah, he's a big boy,
um,
y'all. He is a big boy.
he I got him back to the bathroom and then I was like, okay, baby, everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. I don't
Hmm.
know if I was comforting him or me. I don't know. But I talked to the
Right,
flight attendants
right.
that were back there and I was like, look, this is what happened. And then I was like, I've got to get back to our luggage so I can get him a new pair of pants. Do you have a plastic bag
Mm,
so I can wrap up this stuff and, put it away and not make
hmm.
everybody have, bleh, yeah, everywhere.
Right, right, right.
So
Oh my
I
gosh.
go and I leave him in the little bathroom and
Uh-huh.
I'm telling him, go ahead and pull your pants down,
Oh
and
yeah, because those bathrooms are small.
they are.
Those,
And
those
I
bathrooms
couldn't
are
be in there
small.
to do it with him because it's
Right.
too small. So I go and I'm getting the stuff down, and the stewardess is trying to call me back. And I'm like, what? What?
Hmm.
She's holding the door because he's trying to walk out of the bathroom naked.
Oh Jesus.
She's like, I can't. I was like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry.
You're like, my fault.
Look, I'm just making it up as I go here.
Right, right, right.
It was funny and it was not. And then I had to pretty much she's kind of stood there behind me and I was just kind of squatting in front of the door getting him
Right.
changed and stuff and we just had to do it that way.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
but yes. Oh,
Like
it
we
was
laugh today, but like at the
yes.
time.
Yes.
See, I mean, and that's the
Today
thing. Yeah, right. Today, like we
they
can
would
laugh
be
about it, but
different. He is more mature and I would think I could just hand him the jeans and he would change
he
himself
could
in the
get
bathroom.
dressed and yeah,
He'd
that's
be fine.
cool.
Although it is a very small bathroom and he's a
It
big
is.
guy.
I laugh with my mom because my mom is funny, y'all. One day I guess I'll have to sit and we'll have to do a podcast together. But my mom's really funny. So I remember I threw this festival one time and my mother like freaked out because she had to use a porta potty. And
Oh,
her and my dad used to go to these
different.
festivals all the time. And I was like, I thought you used a porta potty. My mom was like, no. So I always joke with her, like, you need to go use the restroom on a plane, like, or just go step in there.
Yeah.
And as of yet, it hasn't happened. But I'm like, next time we fly, you need to go like peek in there. Like, if you didn't like a porta potty, you ain't inherently go like the restroom on the plane.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're not. And I don't do porta potties and I have to be desperate to do the
Girl, this porta potty was clean. The festival had just started. They had just dropped the porta potty, so nobody had used it. Like she walked out of
yeah.
the porta potty, like it was, and I was like, "Is it like what's wrong with it?" And she was like, "It doesn't flush." I'm like, "No."
No, it doesn't.
Like you've never used a
That's a
porta potty? And she was like, no. So I was like, oh my God. I said, Mom, like,
I'm
I've
with you.
had, look, I've been in the band. I've had to use porta potties. When I was in Thailand, I had to use an Asian toilet. I don't know if you know what the Asian toilet is. It's the one that's on the
I want to
ground.
I'm so interested in that. Like, you just really kind of hover over it, right?
You got to hover over it. They usually have a rail so you can hang onto the girl.
That's
And
just like,
then we,
whenever we were little, young, and then you
oh,
would
that's
be on a
true.
car
Yep.
ride and your parents pull you
Mm-hmm.
over and like you just,
Yep.
go out there. It's the same thing. You just
I'm just like, look, ma'am, I've traveled to some places and I've had to look.
I
The
want to
first
go
time I saw the Asian toilet, I was like, what is this?
see.
Cause like, so we stopped in, I was in Bangkok for 5 or so days, and then we went to Chiang Mai, which is a smaller city outside of Bangkok.
Okay.
So in the big city in Bangkok, they had regular toilets. I was like, okay, this is cool. Then we like hopped the train to go to Chiang Mai, and then like I get up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, how am I supposed to navigate this on a
My
train? On a train, no
on a
less.
train too. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's really different.
And then most of the toilets out in Chiang Mai were like the Asian toilet. And I was like, all right, like I've done
Dang.
this once, and I've done it on the train, so it's cool. I
So
got
I
it.
know about them because my best friend is very well traveled, and she ran into them, and she was like calling me and being like, "What is this?" You know, she's
Girl,
like sending us a picture of a toilet, and we're like,
girl, I'm telling you, it just like blew. I was like, what in the world? Of course,
hey,
I
it's
posted that on
different.
Facebook, and everybody was laughing. They were like, "You were," I'm like, "Dude, okay, y'all keep thinking
Yeah, y'all
this
act like yeah.
this travel like for the week, y'all." I'm telling you some things out in these streets that y'all don't be thinking about. Like, look, I was like, "What in the
Exactly.
world?" I'm like, I done had a regular toilet this whole time in Bangkok, and I get out here, and I'm like, "What is this? This is
What
my
is this supposed to be?
girl." I was so confused. I'm like half sleep. I'm like, "What? This is crazy. I
Right.
can't."
You're stumbling just to get to the
Girl, I'm telling
bathroom.
you, it's on a train, so you know the train is
Oh
like
yeah, the
weaving and
train's
bobbing.
moving. That's why I said that's really weird.
And I'm like, what? Like, nah, friends, nah, friends. I can't live like this.
I
Um, oh my God, I'm so for real, Catherine. I thank you so much for like having this conversation. I've learned so much. Like I said, you telling me about all the stuff that happens at the airport was like all this could have been going on around me the whole time. And
you wouldn't have
I
noticed.
guess if you don't know what to look for,
Hmm.
you don't know what to look for. So somebody might have had on the sunflower lanyard, and I was like, oh, that's a cute lanyard because I like sunflowers,
You might have
and
had
didn't
somebody
know
skip the TSA line in front of you and been like,
exactly.
"What
That's what
the
I'm
heck?"
saying. Like, had no idea like
Yeah.
this, like
Or like
all
you
this stuff
said,
is
the
what's going
child
on,
was
and
having
so
a meltdown. You know, and that is
like I
okay.
said, yeah, I
That's
can own
getting
my stuff. I
better.
was like, why is this little boy acting like this? Girl, I was like, if they don't get him, but it never until we
They
had that conversation,
all
it never dawned on me
yeah,
like
so
he could have
that's
been
been a
having like a
problem.
meltdown.
Yeah, so for me as a parent, I've dealt with that not just in travel. That's like been everyday life. There have been times in the middle of Walmart
Oh
and
yeah,
um, and people look at you and look at you. Oh, it's but I'm like, look, guys, yeah, I'm glad I can give you a free show, right?
right,
'Cause
right.
you're not helping me by looking. But one time, in more recent years, a couple of years ago, we had a flight home from California, and we were flying
Hmm.
into the Denver airport, and it had been a long day after
Yep.
5 days of travel. And Alexander, well, he had to have a moment.
I was like, he gonna do what he gotta
And
do.
it was like midnight too, so it wasn't
Oh
like a really
gosh.
busy time of day,
Yeah,
thankfully.
yeah.
But it was still
Right.
busy enough because Alexander started escalating and attacking, and then my boyfriend was trying to restrain him and had him on the ground and was restraining him because he becomes a threat to everybody,
Yeah.
not just to, not just to me. He will lash out at people. So, and you don't want a 6'1" man coming at you, not
Right.
knowing he's just
Exactly.
14.
Not
You're
knowing.
talking
Yeah.
10-year-old, you know.
Knowing he's a kid. Right.
And so we're trying to do that, and the passerbys are stopping. They're recording with their phones.
Oh
They're
God.
it was not cute. And then we had people from the airport, like we had a big guy who came by, and he was like, "Okay, what's going on here?" And da, 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 da. And I knew that the
Right.
aesthetics were not very good. Um, but
Right.
he was like really wanted to get into the mix here, and I was like, you know what? I can't stop you.
Right.
So he went and he sat down on the floor next to Alexander, next to his head. And then Alexander tried to take his arm and bite it.
Oh Jesus.
And then he was like, okay. And he got up.
All right. I'm out.
He had enough knowledge at that point.
Yeah.
But somebody there got EMS called that. I think it was that guy. He got on the walkie and called EMS over. And
Oh,
at least
okay.
with EMS there, people stop looking and judging, because they're
Right.
like, okay, so this is probably a medical emergency of some sort. Um, and it was just one of those things.
Well,
And
and that's why like I said, part of the thing I wanted to talk to you about too, or ask you about, like, just how can we as travelers like be more mindful of that? Like, what can
just
we
walk
do to
by,
like
just keep it moving. You
what
don't
can
think
we
it's
do
not,
to be more mindful of
it,
that? Because, like I
it's
said, I was just like, "What is this?" And it never, like, until you said that to me, like the other day, it never dawned on me that
well,
the child could have been having
we
an
all know
episode.
that people are making judgments. Most
Mhm.
people don't think, oh, autism. Honestly, I look at it this way: that child might not even be autistic. It might just be a toddler, and the toddlers are toddlers. You know,
Right. Well,
and
that's what I said. We had been there. There was something. I think there was like a rainstorm or something. So the flights were delayed and all this kind of stuff. I was getting like aggravated because I was there for three
right.
hours.
So kids will
So
too,
imagine,
of course.
yeah, like a 5 year old who's like, what? There's really
Yes.
nothing for kids to kind of do at the airport. There's no video games. There's no this. There's no that. And, their phones are only going to hold them for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and it is a thing, but the best thing that we could ask for people is just be understanding, keep it moving, nothing to see here. Try to be less judgmental. You never know what
Definitely.
somebody else is going through, and that's in general. You don't know what
Yeah, I was like, that's good advice
going
in
down the
general.
street
Yep.
is doing. So,
Hmm.
if they, just walk away. I've had one time, it wasn't at an airport, but one time I had a lady come over and be like, I understand, mama. And she handed me a bottle
Oh,
of water.
that's
And
sweet.
that was nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
And that's the thing. But even if your kid is typical, you could still end up having meltdowns. It's not
Yeah. That's what
just.
I'm saying. Even about the baby, like, I wasn't upset. I'm like, it's a baby. Like, I have a hard time adjusting when I
Mhm.
travel. So what do you think a 2 year old's gonna do?
Right. Oh,
Like,
and
she
please
don't know.
don't record us on your phone. That's
Yeah,
another thing.
right.
Because
Yeah.
there's been like 4 or 5 times that Alexander's been having a meltdown, and
Hmm.
there have been people recording. And I don't want my child recorded like that.
Right.
Um,
Right.
like I know twice the school has told me that they were, I had to come and pick him up because they were out on an outing, and on the way back he had a meltdown on the side of the road, and
Mm.
the people were stopping, they were calling police, they were video recording, and
Right.
I was like, yeah, how dare those people record my child, right?
Right.
Like I was mad about that, but
Well, and I think that's what conversations like this is important because it helps normalize that
it does.
people with people travel with their autistic children, and like you said, here's what could happen. Like, just walk on by. Like, there's nothing to see here.
Yeah, nothing to
This
see here,
isn't a
but you know
sideshow. This
what,
isn't a spectacle.
there is a flip side to it all because there are children who are being harmed. And I get why people want to record when they see something so out of place like that.
Right.
I get why people want to call the police because they think that there's something wrong, and you should try to protect the vulnerable population.
Oh, of
Totally
course.
get that. So I try not to myself, I try not to take it too hard, even though I don't like my son being recorded, especially not in
Right.
the state. But I try not to take it too hard because I do realize that there might be a time when that person recording helps a child
Help the
that
kid.
really
That's
needs
true.
it.
That's
So
true.
autism has really made me have to rethink a lot. Not just having a kid, but also having that special needs kid has changed my world completely. Um, so I have become a much more understanding person and like forgiving, just, like, okay, I see this kid being
Hmm.
unruly and I'm going to go that way and mind my own business. Um,
Right.
I don't know what that mother is going through. I don't know what that child is
Right.
going through. So it's just, I find it hard to judge anybody, right? Really, because of what I've been through.
Hmm. No, really.
um, But yeah, so we have fun. We're going to travel. And
That's
like I said,
good. I
end of the
love
month,
that.
we went to Houston last month. We're going to Orlando at the end of this month. And then this summer, we're going abroad. So
He's
fun
traveling more than
times.
I'm traveling. That's good though. I'm happy for him. I'm happy
I like getting
that
him out too. It's
you, yeah, like
always
you're trying to give him as much as a normal, quote, normal, whatever that means.
experience,
But
but also
yeah,
you're getting it's something that his school does. They go out on a lot of outings because they're trying to get the children accustomed to society.
hmm,
And they do that by introducing them into these places. They
right.
do some outings, which will be like, we're going to go to Denver and take the light rail because, oh, we're
Oh,
going to
okay.
use the bus system here in Colorado Springs. Like they do those things because they're actually teaching life skills to
That's
our
really
kids.
good. Right.
So, that the same thing whenever I take him traveling and doing these things, I am teaching him how to cope with various situations,
Right.
and I'm getting him out and exposed to the real world. So
Yep.
there's a lot that's going on there, and I'm very fortunate that I'm able to do that, and I'm thankful that I feel that I'm at a point now that I can take Alexander on such a long trip like this.
Yeah. I
Because
mean, like
I
I said,
wouldn't
you
have been
mentioned some really
comfortable.
good points that I didn't even think about that you have to think about. Or like even I said, my friend with her 11-month-old baby.
Hmm.
Like yeah, you like yeah, like they don't, like the jet lag. I completely was like, oh god, yeah, like it's a 9-hour flight. So hopefully he sleeps and we all wake up in pairs and he's on the right time zone and things are quiet. Well, all right, girl, I'm gonna wrap it up.
Okay, because Alexander his bus just pulled up.
Oh my gosh. All right, girl. Was there any parting words you'd like to say before you go?
I would tell all parents, but especially autism parents, that there is a way. Don't let autism make you not do the things that you want to do in life. You may have to work around things, but there is a way. And make sure that you research. Just research and know where you're going and what you're doing. So
I love that.
enjoy
Yeah, I
your
love
life
that.
as much as you can. It's hard sometimes. So
Well, all right, Miss Catherine. I certainly appreciate you sitting with me and telling us about you and Alexander's good travel. Hey, Alexander.